images that came out for you when I was meditating on this month's reading. And the first thing that I saw, it's beautiful, but it's kind of sad. So I see this hen, okay? She's a brown hen, and you know, hens are female chickens. And she's got like her little chicks, her babies. They're scattered around the garden, digging for worms or whatever chickens do. It starts raining. So it starts raining. At first, it's a drizzle, and then it starts raining really hard. And she's outside in the elements, and she starts clucking, like she starts calling for her babies. And then her babies, I think there are like 5 of them, they swarm towards her, and she opens up her wings. They get under her. She blocks them from the rain, but then again, she's getting battered by the rain. Okay? So that's the first thing that I saw. And this image is very, very Leo-like and very Scorpio-like, because you would go to the end of the earth to protect the people that you love. And especially if they're your children, especially if they're vulnerable. Okay? Like you would go above and beyond, give the shirt off your back for the people that you love. And so I feel like it's a very appropriate image for oftentimes a Leo reading or a Scorpio reading. What I'm feeling though is there is a situation here where I can't say like, you know, you got to put yourself first. That's not really the message I was getting. What I'm really, really getting is I just feel like you're standing really strong and tall and proud. And you're kind of like the person that fights for the underdog, or you're the protector in a specific environment. With your presence in the picture, it seems almost as if things go right when you're there. Okay? People count on you to do a lot of things, and you do them, and you do them correctly, and you do them the right way. And I also feel like people get in the habit a lot of the times of taking advantage of it. Okay? Like they take it for granted. And they always feel like, you know, oh, when hard times rolls around, I can always count on that Scorpio. And that can be family members, that can be friends, that can be love relationship partners, that can be the people in your life overall. And especially people, if you're in some type of a supervisory managerial position, it could be people that you're managing, people that you're working under. When you're out of the picture, things are very, very chaotic. You know, things don't go right, or people aren't where they're supposed to be. And people, it's just the environment is very disorderly. So if you even find yourself taking a vacation, and then when you go back to the office, you're just going to be like, what happened? It seems like a war zone. It looks like a tornado went through this office. People aren't where they're supposed to be. Work is not getting done. People are not thorough when it comes to doing their job. Like, what happened? So I feel like your presence or lack of your presence is very heavily felt in your environment. Okay, your lack of your presence, or just the absence of your presence, that your absence is heavily, heavily felt in your environment. And then I'm also seeing this, you know, selfless, this really big heart, but this also selfless part of yourself, where you want to give and give and give, where you want to protect other people, where you want to kind of like shelter somebody, okay? For those of you who are parents, or for those of you who have children, or, you know, if you're sharing children with other people, or if you're co-parenting, if you're stepping into some type of a parental mentor, even supervisory managerial position, you want to be a little bit careful of this tendency, okay? To want to huddle everybody under your reach, to want to control a situation, to want to, you know, protect everybody and treat everybody with kitty gloves, because in that type of environment, people don't really learn, okay? We learn through mistakes, pretty much, okay? And we have to kind of understand that everybody needs to make mistakes in order for them to learn from it and to not make the same mistakes the next time. So we can't take it upon ourselves to kind of shelter people from the reality of the world, and especially shelter people from the elements Okay, because sooner or later they're going to be exposed to it, and they're not going to know how to deal with it because they didn't have to deal with it in the past, because you shelter them from all of these problems, or the chaos of the environment. And so you want to be really cognizant of that. Let people kind of live their life, and especially make their mistakes, even though it is painful watching, from an outsider's perspective, from a space where we've been there, we've done that, and we're trying to prevent somebody from, walking down that wrong path. But at the same time, it is their life, it is their karmic destiny, whatever you want to call it. It is something that they have to experience, so that they know whether or not they can make the same decision the next time, or, learn from it, wisen up, and make better decisions the next time around. I'm seeing a lot of overprotective, like helicopter parents in particular. I'm seeing people that are, really, really trying to protect their kids. I almost feel like resurrecting this little bubble, putting your loved ones in there, and trying to shelter them, trying to shield them from the truth. I also feel shield them from reality, shield them from the truth, shield them from painful situations. So I feel like you might be withholding information. You might be this is also something I feel like Scorpios have a habit of doing, lying by omission, okay? Half-truths, revealing a certain piece of information, okay? Not revealing the whole story, revealing certain pieces of information in order to get the other person to see a situation in a specific light. So you want to be careful about, the tendency to do that, and aim to be very, very truthful, completely truthful when it comes to what you reveal to other people, okay? But aside from that, I feel like, the image with the hen, it is all about your ability to love, nurture, and protect those around you, and kind of like wanting to take on the responsibility of like safeguarding them, but also I almost feel like being the brunt of the target, so diverting attention away from somebody that you love, because you don't want them to have to deal with that stigma or the hardship, okay? There was another image that I saw, now I can't remember. Maybe it'll come back to me. So let me get out 3 more cards, and maybe the other one will come back to me. Oh, okay. So I'm seeing I'm seeing 3 women. They're wearing like their little they're like a terry cloth, like a towel. It's wrapped under their armpits, around the body. And then they're in the sauna. Okay, so they're in a room. It's a steam room. It's heated. It's foggy, and they have like those eye mask on their eyes, and they're just sitting there letting the warm, I guess the warm air kind of soak in the warm air. So what I feel is there is definitely a need for you for like rest and relaxation, for you to really just unwind and kind of let your body heal. Okay, so when I saw that second image, I had like really bad like tension, like it feels like muscle cramps or twitching around the temple area, so the head area. So I don't know if you have recently suffered from a situation where you had to do a lot of thinking. It's almost like you're mentally exhausted, or you are suffering from some type of a congestion where you can't breathe, and it's really affecting your ability to think, like not getting enough oxygen, and it's really affecting your ability to think. You feel groggy, you feel like you're not able to see clearly because of the fog, and then think clearly because of the mental fog as well, and because your eyes are also covered. So I feel like there is a situation here where you're kind of feeling things out, but you feel like you might not have the whole picture. And it's almost like it doesn't really demand your immediate attention. So you're waiting for that. You're waiting for the mist to clear up before you have full information or before you have a full picture of, and then decide what to do. So I feel like in the meantime, you're just waiting for that mist to clear up because you feel like you're lacking information. You don't have all the information, or somebody might also be withholding the information from you. All right, last card. Yeah, there's definitely a need for you for some R&R, okay? And I especially see like the mental stimulation, being overstimulated, or being like so inundated with a lot of mental tasks where you just feel like mentally very, very drained, okay? So let me talk about what's coming into the picture. So first of all, I feel like many of you are in a big position here where you're making important decisions that affect other people, okay? So we have here the master of your domain. This is the emperor. This is the person that rules their domain. They're in charge. They are a source of authority, and many, many people look up to them. Many people admire them. Many people want to be in their shoes, okay? So I feel like your energy is coming out as a major player. So you are somebody that many people come to for advice. You're somebody that they come to when they have a problem. They come to when they need a resolution, when they need some clarity, when they need some type of advice. Okay, so I definitely feel like you have a very powerful presence about you, where you're kind of like the fixer, the advisor, the person that makes a situation very clear for the next person who might be very wobbly, who might be confused about what their course of action is, about what they need to do. So you're bringing in a lot of guidance, a lot of support, and a lot of clarity for another person. The emperor is somebody that, doesn't operate from the realm of emotions. They do what's right for everybody involved, okay? And that can play out in one of two ways. You can, fix other people's problems, okay? Or you can also be in a situation where you want to take on all the responsibilities. You want to fix everybody's problems. And our energy in general, not just you, Scorpio, our energy is very, very finite, okay? We have a limited amount of energy, and we need to devote the energy to avenues that are productive, and especially in ways that are productive. So be careful about not taking so much responsibilities where it disallows the other person to do their fair share of the work in managing and learning about responsibility. And I feel like, this is, it's not an overbearing type of a situation, but I feel like it's right next to the Queen of Coins. This is clinging on to a situation very, very tightly. So it can indicate to me control issues, wanting to control a situation, wanting things to have a very, very specific outcome. And so you're obsessively monitoring it, watching it, and like just your energy, all of your focus is completely immersed in it, okay? So we have to learn to kind of like be a little bit more open-handed and to kind of let a situation organically kind of unfold, okay? It doesn't indicate to me a bad energy because I've mentioned this before. You guys are very, very much about making sacrifices, especially for the people that you love, and especially when you deem something to be a labor of love, okay? If it's done out of love, you don't care how long it takes. You don't care how much energy you need to exert. You do it because you feel emotionally compelled to do it. But I feel in this situation, let people learn to be self-sufficient and let people learn to be independent, because they have to walk through, their life's journey on their own. And so if you constantly intervene and solve their problems for them, it's really not going to help, okay? The energy of the emperor as well, it's all about truth and honesty. He is a pillar of strength and stability in a environment. And so what I feel is It's almost like in your home environment, for example, your partner has to consult you. Like, can I buy this? Can I buy that? Can we chip in for this? Can we, do we have enough funds for that? So I feel like you're really, really, you know, wearing the pants in your relationship. And I feel like it's really, really important to soften up. And it's important to balance out the voice of authority in that relationship. Otherwise, the partner might be in danger of withdrawing love, withdrawing affection, or feeling judged, or feeling like they're inadequate because they have to come to you and ask you for things. So you want to be a little bit careful about the power dynamics in that relationship, okay? On the other hand, if you're in the work environment and if this energy is shown up in the work environment, it's definitely very, very good where you are seen as a very competent player in the work environment. You are also seen as somebody with bright ideas, okay? This is the Ace of Wands. And this is like new projects, new things coming into the picture, and people basically seeking you out mainly because they understand your skills and your competencies. And when they want to get something done, they know that you're the person that they can come to get things rolling, and you get them done fast. You're also honest and straightforward. You won't inflate their expenses. You won't sell them things, for example, that are lemons. You won't lie or cheat them out of a good deal. So I definitely feel you're very, very well respected, okay? So if it's showing up in the work environment, it's really, really good. If it's showing up in the relationship situation, we need to learn to kind of balance it out. And I feel like your partner is coming to you a lot for consultation, and especially if they're just like, can I buy this? Like asking your permission. Can we buy this? Can we do this? Even though it costs the X amount of money. And I just feel like these should be discussions, okay? Like mutual discussions. It shouldn't be one person constantly asking the other person. So I feel like there might be some lopsidedness here when it comes to relationships and the balance in who's making the money, who's bringing home the money, who's using the money for what, and who's asking permission to, you know, that's what I feel like. I feel like it's not completely balanced if it's in the relationship front. On the other hand, you do have new projects coming in, and your financial situation is really going to stabilize, okay? This Queen of Coins energy, new sources of income, new sources of money coming through. The Queen energy, this is a homebody, okay? This is somebody that either works from home or they work in an office, and they're more like the money manager, the accountant, the people that, the human resources people even. So the accountant, the human resources person, the work that you're doing is very, very centered around home decor, home decoration, home renovation. So I feel like you're getting a chunk of money coming through in those avenues. And then I also feel like there will be people seeking you out specifically for your skills. They might have been recommended by other people, and I feel like there's a lot of forward movement and a lot of wins and traction when it comes to your financial situation. So the first four cards to me indicate a lot of successes coming through on the financial front, on the reputation front as well, okay? We do have as well an air sign that you are dealing with here, and I have here the Page of Swords and the Queen of Swords. This to me usually means, like, if it's a page and then a female court card, like a mother and child, okay? This could also be a family situation, family members within your home environment, somebody that you might have children with, somebody that you might have known for a really long time. And so what I'm feeling here is I feel like there is some entanglements here, financial entanglements, when it comes to mother and child. And if you have custody issues, I feel like some of you are trying to move or trying to leave the geographical location that you're at. We have here the Chariot movement, like physical movement, as well as the World, wanting to move to change location, scoping out new territory. I feel like there might be some issues when it comes to communication, the give and take, like even child support, um, the terms of custody as it relates to a child of yours, and the parent of the child, the mother of the child or the father of the child, if you are co-parenting, or if you're no longer in the picture, it's like they're geographically here, you're geographically somewhere else, and there's discussions back and forth regarding where do we need to be, who's going to be taking care of this child, how many days a week. So I do see some rearrangement or some discussions heavily centered around who's taking care of the child, what state, what city, and things like that. Those things are all popping up, okay? If you have an air sign that you're dealing with, an Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra, this is somebody I feel they're a little bit unpredictable, okay? The Page of Swords energy, this is somebody who's like very, very, they're just, I feel like they're very intelligent. They throw a lot of information at you, okay? It's almost like you haven't answered the first question and they're throwing you like 5 other questions. Their energy can be a little bit overwhelming, is what I'm sensing. I feel like you've known this person for quite some time because you've watched them mature from a Page of Swords to a Queen of Swords, okay? This is what I call like somebody who might be a little bit up and down, okay? One side she's smiling, and then the other side she's like, well, she's not. So one side is like very, very playful. The other side is like very, very stern. One side is very quirky. The other side is just normal. So I feel like you're dealing with an air sign, and Gemini does come up really strongly in this spread, and especially in this card. So Queen of Swords, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. And once again, this is somebody that is dealing with, we have the Nine of Swords. And the Nine of Swords deals with like frustration. It deals with restless nights. It deals with the lack of sleep. It can also indicate as well, they're going through some things that I feel that's making them very inquisitive. That's making them mentally very, very alert. And I feel like they're throwing you a lot of information and you're not really sure as well. You're not really sure how to process or respond to the information that you're getting from them. For some of you, I feel like this person is going to be coming to you and bearing, you know, their soul. Like they're going to tell you, here's what I'm really struggling with. Here are some of the things that, you know, I'm having problems with. And once again, the tendency is to want to take it upon yourself to solve this person's problems. Okay? But I feel like you have to learn, you know, loving detachment, Scorpios. We have to learn loving detachment. We have to learn to kind of allow them to make their own decisions, to arrive at their own decisions, to do their own things, follow their own decisions, so that they can learn from it, okay? It would behoove you to kind of relinquish control in this situation and just let them sort things out. You definitely can give advice, but I feel like overstepping your boundaries and even offering so much of yourself in order to fix this, I just don't feel like it's a good it's a good use of your energy, because this is a very stubborn person. They can be a little bit fickle. Today they want to do this, the next day they want to do that. And so if you're expending a lot of energy trying to stabilize this person, you're going to be swept along for the ride, and it's going to be a very bumpy, rocky ride. And so you want to be a little bit careful that you're not affected by their energy, because they seem to me on very very wobbly conditions, and I don't feel like their presence is going to be good for you as we progress, you know, as we round out the month, okay? Let them deal with their situation. They definitely will communicate a lot with you, but I feel like they're a little bit too fickle and too sporadic for you to be around right now. That's what I'm getting here. So the major players in this deck, I feel, is we have here an Aries. Okay, so you have like all elements, okay? But the Aries, there could be a new person that is very established, that's really, I feel like they have the hots for you, okay? Carrying a torch, okay? So I feel like you might get some type of an invitation. You might get some news, some information, some revelation about how this person feels about you. Okay. And then on the other hand, I have this air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Communication back and forth is fine, but I just feel like this is somebody that's going through a lot and they need to kind of sort things out on their own. You have a lot of career things that you really should focus your energy on. On the other hand, I also have as well a Capricorn. So this is the devil energy. And the Capricorn energy, it seems to me as if this is somebody that is plagued with a lot of issues. So I have here the Nine of Swords and the Eight of Swords surrounding this Capricorn. It's a de-escalation in the sword suit. It's getting less burdensome, but they have a lot of issues, possibly depression, anxiety, disappointment, and things like that that they're dealing with. And so it is in your best interest to kind of leave this situation alone. And once again, I see you wanting to, jump in and wanting to kind of like unglue this person or alleviate the situation for this person. But what I feel is, once again, it's codependent. So you want to make sure the other person is able to take care of things for themselves. Okay? Take care of things for themselves. I'm seeing this Capricorn energy, they might be dealing with some things that's really affecting their self-esteem, possibly at work too. Because the Nine of Swords is sleepless nights, staying up very, very late, having a lot of worries, and wondering about the trajectory. Eight of Swords, stuck in a rut, wondering about the trajectory of our lives, feeling a little bit tethered to responsibilities and not having free time. So this is a very barren card in this deck. And so I feel like, I feel almost like they have some things that they themselves need to work out for themselves. Okay? Your focus is very much over here, and everything over here is just glaringly very, very positive. And I just feel like, there's a lot of commute back and forth. There's a lot of opportunities for travel, for movement, for flying here and there. So I do see traveling over through airways, traveling over land, get accomplished. And you have a lot of just, finances really on your mind because it's really starting to kick up. Okay, so many of you might have like recently hit a promotion, for example, or if you're promised a promotion. I definitely see that being it's like if it was promised to you, it's being delivered to you. And then I'm also seeing a lot of new projects that you can do to increase and enhance your income generating opportunity potential. So there's a lot of money, and that's where you need to focus your energy. Really take care of yourself. I see a lot of sleepless nights, people getting sick, not feeling well, physically feeling under the weather, and physically not feeling at your best. So really learn to take it easy. We are headed into the time of Aries. It's the first fire sign. It rules the head. So I'm seeing a lot of like fevers, headaches, head congestion, sinus congestion, ear aches as well. So you got to really take care of that part of your body, okay? And that means don't overexert yourself mentally, and especially don't let the stress get the best of you, okay? I'm going to leave it at that. I hope the reading is helpful for you guys. And for those who are interested in a reading, I have included a link in the description box below of a psychic. Her name is Bridget. She is based out of California. She's very amazing. I highly recommend that you get a reading from her if you're looking for spiritual.